Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show. Yeehaw!
Good morning, Southern Fried Podcast fans, and all you breadheads out there in Cornbread Nation. It's Hump Day, and 6 days to the election. Oh my goodness, we got so much to talk about and so much to speak on. Oh, good morning, Dave. How are you this morning?
Excellento. Good morning, Rob. Happy to be in the land of Dixie.
Yes.
Happy to be alive on Hump Day. Happy to be patriotic American, and
Yes.
happy to see Americans getting out and voting. Absolutely tickled by the numbers I'm seeing.
And you know what's funny is Dave and I do not confer much before these shows. We talk a little bit, but if you'll notice on mine, I got 6 days to the election, and Dave's got under his name 6 days. We're both thinking on the same track this morning.
That's right. Countdown, baby.
Count this thing down to going to be a late night podcast next Tuesday night.
It is. It's okay.
We're going to have, hopefully we're going to have some special guests lined up for that night, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, Dave's going to be working the polls, so he's going to be late getting here, so I'm going to get me some backup. Oh, well, Dave, you worked last night at the poll or yesterday afternoon. Tell us all about it.
Well, first of all, I'm tired. That's a good thing. That means I was very busy. I've not worked a day because I usually do early voting. I don't do a lot of it, but I do election day. But it was absolutely, it never stopped. The people coming out, the numbers are amazing. Just to give you a flavor, though, of kind of where this thing went, I seen a determined electorate. I mean, they came in. You could see just the determination in their face to get her done. We say here in the South. I saw age groups from all over the place. First-time voters. I mean, I talked to 2 first-time voters. Good morning, Michael. I talked to they were whole families rolling in. Dad, mom, their young kids. They were just all over the place. I saw obviously the elderly coming in and the disabled. I saw law enforcement personnel that were coming in, just getting off work, fully battle rattle in uniform, ready to come in, thank them for their service. Saw the old veterans coming in. I mean, it was crazy. I worked 1 to 5, and after 3 o'clock, the gates opened up. It was even busier. It was all the way to about 4:30, and then we stayed steady all the way to 5. Polls closed. These people were determined. They were in a good mood. It was really amazing. Talked to the election workers and those that have been working. Some of those were new. They were just amazed at how many people. We were running 2 scanners and about 16 BMDs, 4 poll pads, and let me tell you, we needed them all. They were coming in the droves. For my county, they told me we're well over 50% of the those who are registered and active voters had already came through. So we've got just a few days left, and of course, election day. It was great to see. I'll be back tomorrow, opening the poll until 1 o'clock. So I'm gonna did ending, and then I'll do morning. I also would just add in because that was the first time I was a part of during an early election counting of ballots at the end of the night. Just watching that process, I was able to take part of that. Actually, help sign off on documentation. Getting those counts in from the 2 scanners, watching that sealing process going on with the election official who showed up. And one of the greatest things was the presence of a armed police officer for the whole day. I loved it. I appreciate them so much having that security there. Made us feel really
Oh,
good.
wow.
No problems, nobody mad. In a minute or two, I'll talk about things I saw that uh, still just need to get voter education out. Questions I was asked that I could not answer, was not allowed to. But that's the overview of what I saw. Just amazing.
Oh, that's great, though. We want everybody to get out and vote. And listen,
Yeah,
if you hadn't got out and voted yet, please do. I mean, it's a privilege to get out and vote. You're electing your leaders. You're electing the people that are going to make decisions for you, not just at the top of the ticket. I mean, those bottom of the ticket stuff on the ballot is just as important to you, if not more important to you, because that's getting down to your local affairs, and that's what's going to affect you quickly and directly. In a lot of cases. So, yeah.
yeah. Me and you had on State Rep Mitchell Horner, and we talked about the
Mhm.
questions on this Georgia ballot. I had two that really they weren't prepared for it. Guy asked me about it, like what's this? I'm like, I can't talk about it. It's not allowed. I cannot talk about that. Those you'll just have to read through them, and it is a little bit of legalese. I mean, we talked about that when we had Mitchell
Yeah.
Horner on here. You have to pay attention. He said, "I'm not sure if I'm voting for something or against something the way it's read. I cannot help you in here on that. It's just one of those things." I had a young first-time voter, 18 years old, and he was asking me questions like, "What does proposed mean?" And what does like. Once again,
You can't.
he was ready. He voted. I mean, he was obviously he had every he knew party all the way down the ticket. He knew what he wanted on that, but the questions really throwed him. And so just make sure you read that sample ballot. Go and make sure you
Yeah.
know what's on that going to be on that ballot. But we
Uh,
just can't talk. We can't talk those things in the precinct, and that was working too.
Well, I'll
So
tell you what, I'm going to
they
repost.
understood.
Yeah, I'm going to repost that interview we did with Mitchell Horner today. In
Yeah,
fact, I might do it while we're going here and put it up at the top. So that way people can go back through and if y'all look through that interview, he discusses all three of those proposals, those proposed changes and laws and stuff. So y'all, let me see if I can get that going on Facebook. Anyway, I'll get that posted back to the top, and y'all can look through there. And he explains
yeah.
the state rep that helped do one of the bills there. I mean, he explains all three of the laws. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I would just say if you haven't voted yet, make sure you look through that and make sure you know what you're looking for,
yes,
what you want to do there. And that was the only thing that I saw. Um, saw a lot of folks assisting others that were disabled got them. It was an ordeal on one of them. I mean, it was an ordeal getting them to that. One person had their friend had voted in Tennessee, and they talked about they had to wait uh, a 45-minute to an hour wait to vote. The lines were so long, but they were glad that their friend didn't have to take that long. I'm a little bit alarmed with the news out of Pennsylvania. I forget the county. Was it Banks County or Burke County? Anyway, the video's out there where they closed the line early. People are gotten in line, but this is early, or way before the polls closed, and told them that the guy said it's grueling and long and grueling in there, and we'll just have to close this early. There's going to be a lot of talk about that today on across the nation, because that's one. It doesn't matter where it's at, but the fact that it's a toss-up state as well. That these folks were
yeah,
videoing and saying, "Look, we're not allowed to." They're telling us to go. We can't. We're not going to be able to get in line. It's not. It's not the end of polls yet. You're supposed to let them get in line and then put somebody at the end of the line when it's time for the polls to close. And one place said, well, they said they might have been the same place. They closed them at 1:45. The lines were so long. They just said at
wow,
1:45. I don't know. I don't want to go off things they're saying wrong. Michael says they have said over 50 million have voted so far in America. Awesome. But
wow,
it's going to be busy all the way through. I really would suggest, if you know that your polls are typically very crowded, I'd still, that's up to you, but go early vote. You still got 3 days of early voting here, in most places I would say for sure through the end of the week, and get that done because election day I think it's going to be packed because there is
Yeah,
still a lot of people to vote, a lot of people. I mean,
yeah,
there's
that's one of the reasons why I went ahead and got out there and got voted because Jenny is, and she works and stuff like that. And on election day, there's going to be a ton of people out there.
yeah,
My
and some one lady or one gentleman, he was waiting on his wife, and he was sitting on his uh, little thing you push around. I can't think of the name right now, but not a wheelchair, but the other top. And they were telling me, said we're glad to get it done. They said some days we feel good, some days we feel bad. Today was a pretty good day, so we wanted to come get this done. Um, some precincts are better than others. Ours that I'm at has plenty of parking, and they're supposed to make so many spaces of handicap. But if you have several come at one time, I mean, like those could be taken up, and just that loading and unloading and getting through. But they get to go to the front of the line. There's assistance all the way, but I've seen a lot of folks usually do a little more, I think, but a lot of young people and demographics of all different types. It was great, absolutely great. Everybody, like I said, was in good spirits, glad to get their vote in. Um, just excited to take part of being American, and I love that.
yeah,
There's a
yeah,
there's a media person and podcaster that I've listened to before out of Atlanta. Anyway, one of her things is she said, "If you're an American, act like it," and I that's what I say. If you're going to be a part of this grand republic, act like it and get her done. Get out and get it done and take part. It's just nowadays it's so easy to get your vote in. It really is. So but it was great. Had one guy, he was looking at the watermark in the paper. That's a change for this year. He did make mention he would rather have the paper to mark himself and then put it. He didn't have a problem with the scanner, but he didn't like. But some people are still confused, and I could tell they haven't voted ever. And I'm going to tell you something in a minute that's amazing, Robert. I just blew my mind. It should be. I'd hope that somebody would follow up and get her on video or something. But anyway, a lot of people are still confused. I think the ballot marking device, when you're talking about machines, these are Dominion. Uh, that's actually when you're voting. That's not voting. That's just marking. You're marking the ballot, printing it, and then
yeah.
then you're scanning it. That's when you're voting right there. But they told me, this is what they told me. They had a 92-year-old lady come in to vote. Get this,
Wow.
Rob. First time voter.
Oh, wow.
92.
Yeah.
Imagine what she's seen in her lifetime.
Yeah.
And at 92, now tell me that this election don't mean something.
It does.
None, they all do. But tell me Americans don't realize how important this election is. A 92-year-old woman who's never voted got herself down to a poll precinct and voted. That's awesome.
That is awesome. I love to hear that. I mean, I wish she'd voted her whole life, but she's here now and she's doing it.
Here now.
So that's so yeah, this election is really hanging over a lot of people. Excuse me. It's dusty down here right now. They're picking peanuts. It's killing me. I love it.
My allergies are flared up today. I can feel it. It's going to be a scruffy, maybe hump day news tonight for me. My voice is already kind of getting there. Okay. I can feel my sinuses settling in and everything draining.
It's okay.
We'll burn them out with coffee today. I have to get me a Ricola.
We'll come over here tonight and growl at each other. It'll be all right. But it is so amazing watching this. And this is a turning point in this country, this election, and it's what it represents, be it to one way or the other. And, we're pretty open about which way we vote. We don't tell other people how to vote. That's your decision to make. That's on you. And, we're not going to belittle anybody for whichever way they vote. That's your right and you're privileged to vote that way. But this is, and it's neck and neck. You know, it is neck and neck. Don't believe the polls that one person's going to win or the other person's going to get out there and vote. Don't believe anything to chance. You know, if you're going to vote your conscience, get out there and vote your conscience. I will say this.
Go ahead.
I'm going to throw this out there. A lot of people don't like Trump. A lot of people don't like Kamala. And, you know, but that should not sway what you're voting for. You're voting for their principles and their economic programs and such as that. So, you know, get out there and vote and really look and see what their policies are. It seems like one group doesn't have any policies really yet. So we'll go from that, you know.
There is an article I was going to cover. We got talking about the elections in the Southern Talk last night. But I had an article that I'll probably maybe share a little bit tonight. It's a writer opinion piece for one of the newspapers or media. I think it's newspaper up in Lexington, Kentucky. The guy calls himself a conservative, and he lists how he's conservative, and he supports Trump in a lot of things, but he's voting for Kamala, and he has really bought into all of this stuff, Rob. These sham trials and everything, he's bought completely into that. And so he says, even though I can't stand her, I'm voting for her because I'm voting against Trump. It's a very strange article, man. And I'm going to send that to you. I'd like you to see that. Yeah. It's an interesting piece. Now, again, he has a right to. It's just an opinion piece. He's right to his opinion, but I just thought it was interesting. He wasn't voting for anything. He's voting against. He's just voting as a blocker. He said, I cannot support President Trump, even though I like a lot of things he does. He said, I don't like her at all. And I think she's bad for the country and it'll be bad. It was a very weird piece, man. I just. It
almost sounds like propaganda or somebody trying to sway votes or whatever. But you know what?
That's for the paper. I mean, he lists everything down there. He had made up a homemade sign for the front of his house, and they showed a picture of it. It's just an interesting. Of course, that's that liberal town, but he says he named off all the things, but it really boiled down to two things: J6 and the conviction on the civil trial of with the woman, and so for those two things, he said, I can't vote.
But that's under appeal too. Number one, unless I miss my guess.
Yeah,
that's under appeal. The J6, I mean, Trump supporters were very adamant that day, and they were very let down. And I laugh and joke about when Hillary lost, and see all the videos, everybody screaming no and all this other stuff. Well, that was their no, and some of these officers up there let people in. Now, should people have done that? No. Should they have been acting civilly? Yes. Should they have been destroying stuff? No. But they were out there. I think they had a right to protest, but they didn't have right to go in and damage stuff or to go in where they shouldn't be. So, but I can understand why they did. That was just out of sheer frustration, I believe.
Yeah.
So
anyway, it was just an interesting piece. I thought I'm going to send that to you today. I stumbled on as I was doing research for show. I enjoyed reading it. It's just interesting. I'm not bashing him. I'm just making a point of what he said. And weird. I hate to vote like that. I'm not voting for something. I'm voting against something. I don't like to vote like that. I try to find. I don't know. It's gonna be hard sometimes, but I want to feel good about my vote.
But there again, and we've said it before on this show, you're not voting for somebody's personality. You're voting for their policies and how they're going to represent you. So this gentleman here was letting the policies, sounds like he was letting the policies of stuff that he support be overridden by his feelings. What do you boil it down to in a nutshell?
He believed he went on further to state out. I'm going by memory, but I do remember now he was saying he believed that as damaging as she is, he's a bigger threat to cause more damage. It's so like he's listening to some talking points of the left. That's what it sounded like to me. But crazy story, man. Really crazy.
Well, and those of you who don't know this, who live under a rock, maybe, or been without internet or TV and stuff, what was it back in 2016? We were a basket of deplorables, those people that supported conservatives and stuff like that. Well, now we're just garbage.
Bunch of garbage.
Our president, Joe Biden, has called half the country garbage. Now, he's come back and tried to put some spin on this, but it's out there for everybody to see, and you could draw your own conclusions from it. And in my opinion, there was no doubt in how he meant that. So, yeah, we're garbage. Welcome to America.
Yeah.
Wow. And then these are the same people that want to call Trump a fascist because of his Madison Square Garden event. Oh, and he did it, and he called us garbage while the vice president was trying to do a message on unity. I think he's angry at her, dude. You know, she's out there doing a thing on unity and how the whole country needs to come together, and he's out there calling at the same time he's out there calling half the country garbage. Was that on purpose? Do you think he did that on purpose?
We're clingers to guns and our faith, and now we're garbage. We're deplorable, as Michael says, deplorable garbage. It's okay.
But we have no way to know for sure. But do you think that he might have done that on purpose? Do you think there's some anger there?
Oh, there's anger. There's anger out there, but he was making those gaffes way before. So he just said the thing they're thinking out loud.
Yeah.
Now there's some of them. It's purposeful what they're saying out loud, but I don't think he has shows me he didn't mean to say that. The way they backtracked that or tried to pretty quick. But at this point they can let him go out there and say whatever, and they can always just say he misspoke, and it's just one of those Bidenisms. He just got caught up in the moment. They're not going to say he's losing it or something like that, because then they would have to answer for why he was still he's still the president.
Yeah,
they have to be careful.
Yeah,
I mean, it is a weird time. I mean, we've got a sitting president that they treat like he's the crazy uncle that you keep stays in the back room under lock and key or something. I mean, that's what it feels like.
Because if you let him out, he starts sniffing little girls' hair and
it's weird stuff, man. I mean,
let's keep him locked up in the closet.
I still say the funniest one, the absolute crazy, sad, funniest one was the Easter one, when the Easter Bunny's out there, because Easter Bunny's kind of creepy anyway, cringy, creepy. Yeah. I mean, and it was big eyes and everything, and he's down there running his mouth, and they're basically trying to drag him back. He's pulling again. He wants to talk. Joe's wanting to talk. He's wanting to work the crowd, and they're in absolute panic behind him. Like, get him out of there. And there's the bunny right there with it's hilarious, hilarious, man. I was like, what the heck is going on?
Here comes Peter Cottontail. Oh, yeah,
it makes you wonder also when there's something like that. I wonder who's really in the suit. Was that Secret Service? Was that? I mean, you wonder who's really in the suit
Dave.
because they can get right up. No, it's not that.
It's Kamala.
Well, I thought you were going to say the
I
other.
know you thought I was going to do. Oh, you thought I was going to do it's the Chupacabra Day, but I'm not going to do that. I said it, Kamala.
By the way, I sent you a text with that link to the article.
Okay.
Just the very title of it. He says to save the U.S. Constitution. It makes no sense, man. It's a weird piece. This opinion piece. His name is David. David Mastillo or something like that. Mastillo. Interesting.
Well, the Yankees live to fight another day.
They do. Controversy in that game though. Yeah. The whole fan trying to rip the glove off the player of the Dodgers. Wow, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. But you know what?
They're not going to.
They always say, they're going to run these things. They're going to go as long as they could possibly go. Because there's a lot of money being made in commercials and stuff for these things.
I told my Dodgers friend, I said, Yankees going to win one. There's just too much money to be made.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way they let that be a sweep.
No. But what about Freddie coming out cranking another home run last night? How many has he cranked this World Series? That's 4, 5?
It still makes me mad he's not with Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him, but absolute sickening that it's for Dodger Blue. Ugh.
Yeah. Oh.
Guy came up, through Atlanta. Should have been Atlanta.
Yeah.
I just hate that.
Imagine where it would be now if he was still with Atlanta. Imagine where they'd be. Kills me.
Does me too.
But
I think one day he'll be a coach.
Yeah.
I think he'll coach with Atlanta system. I really do. I just think one day he'll be a coach. He'll start out probably a hitting coach or something like that. It's definitely one of those days of coughing. We'll let Rob have his moment to cough and get back. But yeah, it's my boss went home yesterday for coughing and very, very hard to get past this. I was scratchy last night. I had to really watch my own self. Just my throat was not good. So, but great weather, 70s, 50s along the way. It's been no rain. We probably could use some, but we're having a great weather pattern right now. It's beautiful weather, great fall weather. Get out, get active. Talked to some people that went to going to corn mazes. It's a great time of year for that. They're going out and going to some parties for around this time of year. Time change this week. Think about that. It's going to be different. Fall back this weekend. Extra hour for some sleep. Sometimes extra hour work. I've been on both sides of that. So great time for that. We're going to try to be live and do some trick-or-treaters and let them get on camera maybe and show their outfits on Thursday. So we'll see about that. Rob is back and muted. You're muted, brother.
Sorry, I had a moment there. So tomorrow we are doing trick-or-treaters, hopefully.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
I've already lined up a handful. Definitely talked to them about it already, told them what to expect so that they'll come by and do that. I think it'd be a hoot, man. It'd be like we'll start an annual thing, getting I'm hoping I'm gonna have my mask on. I'm gonna have my mask. I've got it right here in front of me. We'll unveil it tomorrow. Okay. It's a friendly mask. It's not ugly. It's a happy mask. It's a nice mask.
It's a mask of Kamala smiling, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, that is a nasty, ugly, terrifying mask.
It's not that.
Smiling. Okay.
If I wanted to give you a mask that would be the worst, it would be Pelosi. I think that's even scarier. It'd be Pelosi or Schumer.
So you could stand out there and eat Ben and Jerry's ice cream while you're giving out
Yeah,
trick. I still
absolutely.
remember. I'll never forget that. You know, oh, oh my goodness. There was another thing that I wanted to talk about a little bit this morning, if I can get this thing to pull up. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and this is coming from Fox, but and it's an opinion piece. But help me elect Kamala Harris,
Hey
who will
Rob,
build a brighter future for our girls.
before you get into that, I have a photo bomb I need to do. So, hang on.
Okay, do your
Are
photo
you
bomb.
ready?
Bomb it.
Come on. Kaylee
Hey,
wanted to say
Caleb, what
hey.
are you doing?
Getting ready for school, so she got to fool with her hair. She
Um,
sees herself on the screen.
uh, that's how
Picture
she
day
talks.
is today. It's picture day. So, all right, we're done.
That would is that how she checks her hair? She looks into the video screen.
Oh yeah, young girls.
Oh yeah.
All right, go into the article. I just want to get that out of the way quick because they were in a hurry.
Oh yeah. But how does I mean? What is Kamala bringing to the table for all these young ladies, uh, other than abortion? Now, this is such a touchy subject, and I don't even like talking about it. I am pro-life, and I'm not ashamed of that. I think there are way too many avenues to prevent pregnancy before they happen, rather than killing a child once it does happen. Um, if you're responsible enough to have sex, and you're responsible enough to vote, and you're responsible enough to do all these things, you're responsible enough to take precaution, or you should be. So, but Gretchen Whitmer, I mean, let's put boys playing girls sports. Let's, I mean, just that one issue alone, other than the abortion, but let's throw that issue out there and let's throw it into the mix. How can you be for boys playing girls sports? There's a dividing line there, and we should honor that dividing line. When you throw men into women's sports, it's no longer women's sports. I don't care if they think they're a man, or their pronouns are she, it, they, whatever. Oh, good morning, Cookster. He's talking about your
Thank you,
granddaughter.
thank you, Cook. Yeah, they're excited. I've got Aria here with me as well. She didn't get on camera, but she's
She didn't
taking
need
them
to check
out.
her hair.
So
But when you let boys play in girl sports, you take away from the girls' competition. They're competing against other girls. They should not have to compete against men. That's why they have women's sports. That's come on, people. It's not hard. Why not just bring in a third classification for other? You have men's, women's, other. And they shouldn't call it other, because these people have rights. They want to feel good about themselves. Don't call them others, but bring in a third classification. That would settle the whole thing.
I think my fear, what you just said, is exactly it covers it, and you just answered your question because once that foothold gets in, you said their rights, and by their rights, if that's going to be accepted, there's
Hmm.
nothing you can do about it. They're going to get a legal right to do it, and that is going to be the destruction of female sports.
Wow.
In many states that's already the Supreme Court's going to have to weigh in on this, and when they do, if it comes down that way, that's it.
You know. Well,
And
they're
that
already
would be the
forfeiting
law of the
games.
land. That would be the rights, and the states won't have too much leeway on that. I'm just saying that's the tricky thing about it. Once you get legal standing, that's why for years, and people have argued this for years. Quit throwing these things around, and they did do this on purpose to continue to destroy the nuclear family, to continue to destroy all those things that we know to be right. I'm hoping that that won't be the case, but if that happens, I mean, you won't be able to stand against it. I mean, it will destroy them. You know? And then what's going to happen is all these girls going to start then hitting the testosterone things, and just trying to get bigger and bulk up just because, so they can compete, not changing, but changing their bodies to try to fit. I mean, there will be those that do that because they'll
there are
they'll want
guys
to be able to compete, so they will change and bulk up. They'll hit the roids, man, but then they'll get caught doing that. I mean, we're causing a bad thing here in juvenile sports for young boys and girls.
But see, here's my thing. It's already going on, but in reverse. These guys are changing their bodies and taking all this estrogen and stuff like that so they can compete in female sports. So they're already changing their bodies and stuff to be able to compete. So we've already set the precedent for that. I mean, it's silly. It's ridiculous. If you have to go through all this and you have to take drugs so you can compete as a woman, you shouldn't be competing as a woman. You should be competing as a man. And if they can't win there, so they come over here and they play against the girls, which to me is the ultimate just slap down,
Legal standing. If that's going to be the key. Where does it fall in that? And then at that point, you won't be able to legally say anything against it. You can say it free speech, but you won't. There'll be people. It's already that way, and a lot of cases they can't do anything because they get in trouble. They'll lose their job. It's ugly. I mean, there are teams forfeiting right now, and nobody cares. Nobody's stepping up and making a change to it.
My call. I'm sorry. I find a little bit of humor in that. Michael is our resident curmudgeon, and we love him for
that. I just think the point being is the whole that really, if you think about it, what they're really trying to destroy is any difference anyway. There will be no boys and girls sports. It'll just be teenage sports or elementary, middle, high school. There will be that will stop as this goes down the road. It has to.
Yeah.
Because they're ripping the lines up, the clear lines between male and female, and at some point, how can you call it? And really, as I said, there's many. I mean, as they've introduced more genders in, if they get legal standing on all of that,
oh my gosh,
then how far does this go? I mean, that's the slippery slope we're on. This is a legal. I'm not talking about it from a moral, spiritual. I'm just talking about purely from a legal standing right now. So I want people to hear me wrong. I'm not for it. I'm just saying that's the tricky part of it. When you get that legal standing, then everything else is going to be pushed to the background, because then that's going to take that's your lawsuits. That's all of your, and they'll just start suing every school. They'll start suing every youth organization, youth sports organization, everything. That's kind of started already.
Yeah,
it'll just explode.
Wow. And see, this is truly a sad state of affairs. It really is. I don't want to go off in left field, but what if I came on here tomorrow and I identified as a person of color, of the opposite sex, attracted to the opposite? What if I came on here tomorrow and said I'm a colored woman that I feel like today, and I'm a lesbian or homosexual, however you want to put it, but I would be mocked and ridiculed for that because I took it too far. I bet you, because I took it too far. But they're not arguing for that. They're arguing for no limits. You just be whatever you want to be, and it just doesn't work. What if I come on here tomorrow and argue, say, hey, I identify as a duck today, quack, quack. I'm a duck, and you better respect my opinion, and you better call me Sir Quacks-a-Lot. You know?
Well, there are schools that have, litter boxes in the bathrooms for people who identify as cats. Just saying. Just saying.
If I was that janitor, I would be PO'd. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now. If I was that
I would just say maybe you could get a job as, the Aflac duck or something. I mean,
Aflac.
just saying.
Okay, maybe duck wasn't the best way to go there, but I'm just saying.
Well, this is where we're at. This is. I mean, how far does anything go? Because there's always going to be those people that will push things once you start down that road.
Oh no, I may have just picked up a new nickname.
Well, you throwed it out there. I was sitting there when you started into that. I thought this is not going to end good. I wasn't sure where that was going, but at least it ended in humor, and we got something out of it.
Sir Quacks-a-Lot. I don't know where that came from, Cook. It just popped out.
The scary, crazy mind of Robert Blevins.
Oh my goodness. This is the things I think about at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning when I wake up there in the middle of the night with my back spasming and I'm staring at the ceiling waiting to go back to sleep. This is the kind of things I think about. Yeah. Just saying.
We need to run a commercial. This would be a good time to.
Cool.
Lord.
Run some commercial, Dave. Let me be right back.
All right. Let's pop up a couple things here. First of all, we want to show you our Mammoth Nation QR code, American-made products, support of veterans, and we're going to start showing some of their products too. But here's a way to go become a member there, and when you help them, you help American small business and American-made products, and you help, yes, the Southern Fried Podcast. So please follow that, and go there and do that, as well as Dubby. And I've still got to get my little packets in for my water, and I'm also going to get some of the cans. They say it makes you sharper of focused on mind, no sugar, and it helps you focus. I'm going to have to try this because I just haven't got mine in yet. I need sharper focus. I do. Robert says I'm elderly, so if you go there and use the promo code Southern Fried, then you can be sharper of focus too. And then we'll just be a little sharper, all of us. And then our Venmo and PayPal QR codes if you want to give into the podcast. And don't forget about our store. We have had a couple sales recently. We're appreciative of that. Thank you for that. And we'll run our promo for the store. Thank you for supporting us. We're growing every day. It is exciting to see things take off, and we appreciate all your support. Many of those in here have been longtime supporters, and we can't thank you enough for all your support. Thank you much. The Southern Fried Podcast now has its own store. Go to sfplive.com/store. These links are also found on Facebook and X and some of the other social streams. You will find shirts and hats and mugs and bags and all kinds of items with many different designs. These are just but a few of the more than 250 items that we have with different designs. We hope you'll come and shop, support the podcast. Every dollar that is paid will go towards keeping the podcast growing, and we thank you for your support. sfplive.com/store. Go shop today and get that favorite person in your life their Southern Fried Podcast item, and it'll help us advertise the podcast as you wear these things or take these things out into the public. We thank you for your support. If you have any questions, email us at southernfriedpodcast@yahoo.com. We'll be glad to answer. We're running some specials as well, 20, 25, and even 30% off in some cases. This will eliminate the mailing charges for sure. So go to sfplive.com/store for your Southern Fried podcast items today. Remember, Christmas is just around the corner. Thank you.
And it really is just around the corner.
Yes, it is. Please do that. Just a real quick note. Friday night, Backwoods Cryptids be with us. I had to reschedule due to emergency situation, but I'm looking forward to asking some questions, Rob. I've got questions. I'm so excited about this. I was so sad we couldn't do that Friday. So
yeah, it's going to be wonderful. I love it. And I make no bones about it. I am a skeptic on this, but would it be great if it is true? And we got this Bigfoot running around in the woods for real. That would be neat. I would admit that, and that's I follow stuff about Bigfoot. I am a skeptic, but it would be so neat if it does turn out to be true down the road or whenever. And if it is, it's going to be guys like this guy that's going to prove it.
And the greater story here is because I think it's totally interesting, and I just want to find out their story. I like to find out about people and why they're interested in what they're interested in, and I think that's the bigger story. And the fact that someone's getting out and enjoying nature and having fun that way, that's great. Kind of go off the grid, so to speak. I think everybody needs something to do that takes them off the grid, kind of, for an hour, 2 hours, half a day. Just get away from get away from the cell phones, get away from modern conveniences, and just walk, get out in nature and enjoy God's creation. I think that's great. I got no problem with that,
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you something else. He believes in it, and it's
he
something
believes,
that he
no
believes
doubt.
in, and it's
I have talked
great.
to him. Yeah.
And I hadn't even met the guy yet, but I'm sure he believes. And, he wouldn't do it if he didn't. And to go out there and look for proof and evidence in something that you believe in that means that much to you. Hey, I take my hat off to him. Hey, salute. Whether I agree or believe or not is irrelevant. You do, and you're out there looking for it, and that's great, and I love it.
Well, on that note, I know a lot of people that they believe in deer, and they've seen deer. They see them as they drive, but when they go out there looking for them, they can't find them. They see signs of them, just like he said he saw them. He sees signs of them, and they've seen signs of deer, but when they're in the tree stand, they can't. They don't see that. They don't see the deer. Maybe the Bigfoot is chasing the deer off while these people are in the tree stand.
Maybe he's protecting it. I don't know. But I am going to say this. Bigfoot is the world champion hide and seek player.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. This right here, if he's out there, man, he's good. That whole thing from Where's Waldo? I think Sasquatch wrote it.
You think he's out there in the woods making faces as the people's coming by,
And they can't see him. And he's out there going, oh. You never know. I've heard so many stories about the Bigfoot. And Dave, I'm going to be honest. When I was younger, I believed. I believed in Bigfoot. And there are some things out there that make me sit back and go, So I'm skeptical, but you can't really say that I'm going to say hardcore. No, he doesn't exist or whatever. I want to believe.
I'll say this too. I thought as much as we have seen him and believe he's real. Some people say fake. I thought for a while that maybe Joe Biden had picked up Bigfoot's ability to hide because nobody could find him to do his job. I mean, I'm not saying he was out there in the wood, but dude surely couldn't be found. I mean, he
Well, that might explain his strange sniffing behavior, and maybe he's looking for another mate. I'm sorry. That wasn't nice. But I want to believe. I want to believe in the Bigfoot Sasquatch.
So
And I
Friday
hope,
night at
I
8
hope,
o'clock.
I hope this guy can convince me. You know, and I'm looking forward to it. You really, really am.
There's also, going back to politics, there's also been stories out there, and I looked at one on townhall.com, but they're not wanting to cover it, obviously, but the Arab population is not behind Kamala. They're not happy with their administration for their stance on the Middle East. They're not voting for either in some cases, but what is lost and not added is still lost. If they're not voting for anyone, I mean the Dems lose. I mean there's a lot in Michigan that's a top state, and if they're saying we are not supporting her whatsoever, we will not vote for her. That's
Wow.
strong. That could be very damaging,
You know, dude, she was right uh, about some of the things that she has said, and I will say this. You know, this election is a turning point. It is. Either we're going to continue with the same back.
I just had a cringe thought.
Was, uh, what?
Cringe thought. If Kamala was to win, which could happen,
No.
if Kamala was to win, her speech on for accepting that, and I just have to believe we probably have to hear her whole thoughts about time again. Today is today, and tomorrow is tomorrow. And when you get to tomorrow, you get there because you had today. That's the way time works. What's 12 hours from now? Believe Rob, according to Kamala, it will be. But this is crazy. 12 hours from now. I mean, it's a cycle of time. We have today, then there's tomorrow, but we had today first, and then time shows us that time and time again there will be a tomorrow, and she
Right.
wants to be a part of tomorrow. I don't know if she's a part of today, but she recognizes there had to be a today to get to tomorrow. I just kind of
Right.
cringe thought for you there.
And don't forget, because, and we know that there are tomorrows because I come from a middle class family, and we had today to get to tomorrow. And if tomorrow doesn't get here, it's Trump's fault.
I keep waiting for her to talk about the bus is yellow and it has wheels and it can take you to the precinct to vote. Has these
And the
round
wheels,
wheels. Yeah, they go
yeah,
round and round.
they go wound and wound. And while you're going there to the precinct, if you hit a bump, you'll go up and down.
And Russia is a very big country. It's a big country.
It's very big.
Yeah, very big. It's cold in parts of Russia. I don't know about the whole. It's cold in part of Russia. I don't know about the whole country.
Oh, ooh, ooh. Can I do my Rain Man impression here?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a large country. Yeah, yeah, yeah. These aren't my underwear. Yeah. It's cold there. Yeah. It's time for Wapner. It's time for Wapner. But yeah, it's a very large country, and it's cold. You're welcome.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Um, Thank you for letting me do that. That was on the fly.
Oh, now Cook, one thing I have to say, Cook, is he might be, or is he or she, they, that, it. I don't know where we're going. Might be a vegetarian. Don't know. You can't say for sure. We haven't had an interview with Bigfoot,
Yeah.
but if our hunter finds Bigfoot, I'd love to have that interview. I want to have that
Yeah.
that
I have a
scoop.
question. What would Bigfoot's pronouns be?
I don't know. Feet,
Huh?
foot, feet. I don't. Big, small. Bunches of them.
You know, what if what what if a Bigfoot had a genetic deficiency? He came out born with no hair. Would he be called Cook? Cook's like, well, I don't know
Wow.
what the heck happened. I can only grow hair here and here. I can't grow it nowhere else. What the heck? Give me a Jack Slink.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I love you, Cook. You're a big old boy. I'm not made of nothing bad. You know, I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm just saying. Just saying. Like if
Love you too, Cook.
you leaving already, don't leave already. I'm still explaining. I'm not just picking on you. I mean, if there was a short, fat, dumpy, bald-headed Sasquatch that was born, his name would be Robert. I'm just saying.
We could get him a job. The Bigfoot. We could have him join in with a caveman. The Geico commercials. We could have
Oh
those.
yeah. Well,
We
he
could.
already has a job. The messing with Sasquatch commercials. Love you, Cookster, Bubba. I mean, he's already got a job. But we might could get him to guest star on here and have him and Cook both go ride around the carts in Walmart.
That would be a video to have right there.
Hmm.
I'm watching
Before
a
we go,
video of this fan trying to rip the glove off the Dodgers player Mookie Betts. Have you saw it?
no, I haven't seen
You
it.
you need to pull that up.
I'll
Wow.
pull up here in a minute.
This is not like just a little. I mean, I read about it, but that's the first time I see it. I was just glancing at it. I pulled up the Four Letter Sports Network, and they were covering the game, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I mean, wow.
Uh, well, where I see it here, it says Yankee fans embarrass themselves again. What? That's not a very nice way to put that. Uh, but uh,
They
before
came
we
from China.
continue on here, there is before we continue on. Well, we want to keep Erica Morgan in our prayers. Uh, she's still struggling. The updates I got yesterday are that they were waiting for her to be transferred to Vanderbilt Hospital, and it hadn't gone through yet, and they have not moved her, or as of yesterday. Hopefully, they will get her where she needs to be. Young lady's going through some real struggles, and her and her family are asking for and just prayers. And we're going to ask everybody out there, let's pray for this young lady. Uh, this is one of the most important things that we can do for another person. And as Christians, it is our privilege to pray for people and people that are struggling, and we want to continue that tradition this morning. And and really, our heartfelt prayers go out to you. So all of our people out there in Cornbread Nation and all of our Sunfly Podcast fans, take a moment out of your day here with us, and let's say a quick prayer for this young lady. Dave, you want to lead us off?
Father, we thank thee this morning again that we can come and pray, come before the throne of grace, and we continue to pray for this young lady in her fight and struggle against her illness. And we ask you, Lord, to bless this possible transfer when that is approved, and safety and journey, and they'll find some answers. Lord, you're the great physician. We ask you to touch and move in a mighty way and restore this young lady whole, and let it be a great testimony of thy great love and compassion and power. We ask this in Christ's name. Rob?
And dear Heavenly Father, while this young lady is struggling, you've got your hand on her. We ask you to comfort the family and be with them. You are also the great comforter. We find comfort and peace in the Lord. And be with them. Keep them in your hands. Let your comfort and grace flow over them. And we ask you for all, and we thank you for all. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.
Amen. Don't forget our prayer PT on the weekend. So you can send those prayers to us at any time at our
Yes.
email, which is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. Please, we will take those not only and pray ourselves, we'll share those out, what information, whatever you want shared with our church and on here as well. And
Yes.
we'll get a big old prayer chain going on.
Absolutely. And look, all you churches and stuff out there, if y'all have some meetings or yeah, I saw that. If y'all have some programs or anything, not just churches, but anybody, local towns, small towns, whatever, you want to get the word out, let us know. We'll be happy to post up on Cornbread Nation, and
Yeah,
everybody can, use it. It's there. We want you to.
we're
So you can
we're
post it
fixing
up
to
there
have
and
a
we'll help you get it out.
yeah, we're fixing to have a big old coming out party for Cornbread Nation. It's going to be much more visible. You've
Yes.
heard us mention a lot. There's going to be there's going to be logos for that as well. You're
Yes.
fixing to see that. There's lots in the frying pan, but we're trying to get around to each of it and get each of it. It's time in the skillet. Cooking with grease, baby. Cooking with
That's right.
grease.
That's right. And we're crusty. Well, Dave is. I'm just good looking.
Cook, I'm ready for the cooking show. He does all this cooking. He's got a video some of it. We
Well,
want some cooked recipes and stuff. We definitely in the spring we're gonna have to get back and get into the garden as well. But I'm
yeah,
looking forward to that to
I'm
have
gonna
some cooks cooking or something.
I'm gonna try to set up and do some to show people how to make some skillet cornbread. We don't want no cornbread muffins. We want some skillet bread.
By the way, if you're in Decatur area, our friend Angie, and do pray for her. Angie's Decatur Diner. That the
Yes.
promo I did for that just keeps growing. People love this place and these people. They're wonderful people. But they've got Rob. They've got the Angie's meatloaf out there today, and the original meatloaf. So
Oh,
on the special day. So you get Angie's, and then you get the original. When I went up there, I'll say this quickly. When I went up there and had breakfast, she asked if I tried the chocolate gravy. I did not, but I said I was waiting for my wife to come. We'll travel up, but I did have a fine breakfast there, and you can get
hmm.
breakfast all day long. So Angie's Decatur Diner, right there in the heart of Decatur, Tennessee. Go visit Angie's
Joe.
Decatur Diner.
Hmm. So, all right. Y'all have a great day. Remember, it's 6 days till Election Day.
Go
Get out
vote.
there. Go vote. Go vote. Go vote.
Rob's
Uh,
got a video out promo says go vote. That's what
yeah.
it's called. Go vote.
Go vote. Let's go do it. Just do it. You know,
By
if
the
you
way,
just do
Cook,
it, you don't have to worry about it.
You are a living legend. Your videos on the podcast definitely got you noticed. I've had people talk to me about it. On that note, Rob, right before we go, I say this: if you folks want to send us a video of your voting experience, get us a little video of you after you can't do it in there, obviously, but when you come out, give us a little quick, 30-second video or a minute or something. We'll air the
Yeah.
thing.
Awesome.
Send it to us. That'd be great, Rob. I'd love to see as
Yeah.
we close down and on election day. I'd love to have so many. We just have to pop them up all day long. I would love to have
Yeah.
those videos. I challenge you, start sending us some of those. Americans voting. Show us your sticker if you're in Georgia or
Yeah.
however your state does. Take them as a family. Hey, send us those videos. We'll air them. That's great.
Absolutely. That would be awesome, guys. We'll air them up all evening long while we're on here
Yeah.
doing our election countdown. That'd be awesome. Y'all send them in. Get them to us. Uh, yeah, send them to that email right there on the screen. Southern Fried Podcast at yahoo.com.
On election day, Rob, we'll air mine and yours and Cook's again,
Yeah,
and Jeremy's. I've got Jeremy's. We've got 4 right there. Yeah, patriotic. We'll put the American flag up and we'll just run these videos, man. Just run one
I
after
didn't mean to
another.
run the I didn't mean to run the intro music on mine. It just popped up when I did it. So I
It
went
does.
with
I
it.
don't. It's good intro. Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not that
Some
long.
amazing singing by my ugly brother-in-law.
Shout out to Chris this morning too.
Yes. All right. Well, Dave's got to get to work and he's got to haul kids to school. I've got stuff
Yeah.
I need to do. And hey, y'all have a great day. Enjoyed it this morning. And we will see y'all tonight on Hump Day News. Hey, this is the last Hump Day News before the election. Bye.
Right.
So All right, guys. Love y'all. Have a great day. Like, follow, and subscribe. And we'll see you tonight. You know what? I need to set that at some point to where it. Don't worry. I'll keep looking and I'll find.
Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast.